Alright, so we took a look at our consumption function. There's something very closely related to that, which is our savings function. The consumption function tells us how much we're consuming based on our income. The savings function tells us how much we're saving based on our income. So here let's look at how we would calculate this. So let's look at a consumption function. Here we have consumption and disposable income. We have our 45-degree line, and we have our consumption function. Let's say that autonomous spending is 100. So here this is our autonomous consumption. We then say that this intersection is going to be some amount, but we're not told what it is. But we're given that our consumption function is 100 plus 0.75 YD. So now let's figure out what this intersection is going to be. Now note what this intersection means. This intersection says, when is our savings going to be exactly 0? I say savings is 0 because disposable income and consumption are going to be equal. If we're consuming exactly how much we earn, we must be saving nothing. So here let's find what income is going to give us savings equal to exactly 0. So here we know that consumption and disposable income are going to be the same thing. So we have C equals 100 plus 0.75 times C. Subtract off 0.75 C from both sides, we get 0.25 C equals 100, or C equals 400. So here we were able to calculate our consumption. Note that this is also our disposable income when we have savings equal to 0. So now let's look at our savings function. So for our savings function, we have, we're going to not save 100. That is, we're going to dissave or borrow. So here our savings is going to be negative 100. So if I earn 0, then I'm borrowing 100 automatically. However, for every dollar I earn, I'm going to save some of it. So how much? Well, here let me give you another quick equation, which is that our marginal propensity to consume, that is, of every dollar, how much do I consume, plus my marginal propensity to save, so that is, of every dollar, how much do I save, must be equal to 1. So here it's saying that I get $1, I'm going to save some of it, and I'm going to consume the rest. So here we know that we're going to consume 75 cents of every dollar, therefore we must be saving 25 cents of every dollar. So here, our savings function is negative 100 plus 0.25 YD. This is saying that we borrow 100 and then we save 25 cents of every dollar. Well, if we're saving 25 cents of every dollar, how much will we have to earn until our savings is equal to exactly 0? Well, for this to be 0, we have negative 100 plus 0.25 YD. So that means that we have to have 0.25 YD equal to 100. Therefore, YD equals 400. Notice that this is exactly what we got when looking at consumption and saying, when will our consumption equal disposable income? That's the same thing as saying that our savings is equal to 0. So here we've derived a savings function. Let's do another one for practice. So let's start with some consumption function. Say that our autonomous consumption is going to be 5. We're then going to we're going to consume, this is our MPC, we're going to consume 50 cents of every dollar that we earn. So what's our savings function? Well, we have S equals negative 5 because we know that we're spending 5 even when we earn nothing, plus we're now going to save 50 cents of every dollar we earn. So our MPS is going to be 0.5 YD. And here we've derived our savings function. From this we could find that savings is 0 when our disposable income is 10. We can do the same thing with our consumption function to determine when savings would be 0 by setting consumption and disposable income equal to each other. Those are two ways of getting the same answer. So here we've looked at our savings function. One other thing I want you to notice about this. In this region, here our consumption is greater than our income. So if we were right here, our consumption and income would be the same. But here we've now increased our consumption, so our consumption must be greater. So in all of this region, savings must be negative. This means savings is less than 0. Note that along all these points, consumption is greater than our income. Once we get here, savings is equal to 0. However, in this range, savings is going to be positive. Savings are greater than 0. That's because our consumption line is below the 45-degree line, meaning that our disposable income is greater than consumption. So here we've found where savings is negative and positive. And we see that savings increase as we increase our income. That's because we're assuming that we start out spending some amount, that is, we have some autonomous consumption, and then for every additional dollar we earn, we save part of that. For this first chunk, saving in that sense really just means paying off our debt. Once we get beyond this point, what we might call break even, when savings are equal to 0, once we get beyond that, our savings are positive. So therefore, every 10 cents of a dollar I save is going into my bank account. That's actual savings. I'm no longer borrowing at that point. So here's our look at savings.